back. Welcome back. You are still tuned in to Funtastic Fridays. And you know, we're here with you every Friday. And on Friday, them winning in Friday from 5 p.m. till 8 p.m. here on Newstalk 93 FM. And from you hear that song, you know what time it is. It is time to talk the team with Kim. And as you can see, the theme we've been talking about since September has started, since September morning, is back to school, right? We've been talking a lot about topics centered around education, school, university, all of that, right? So we had to get a bit more in depth with the topic, and we thought, you know, speaking to someone with a lot of experience in the field would be ideal. So we do have a special guest with us today. She is a diploma trained reading and social studies teacher with a Bachelor of Arts in guidance and counseling. So you know, say enough information. You know, so the information legit. You don't know that, you know, there's a wealth of information here, and she is none other than Miss Rennay Victory. Good evening, Rennay.
Good evening, Kimmie.
I love it. You see, she came ready. She came ready, right?
Her name is Victory King.
Yes. That's exactly.
It's Rennay Moore, but also known as Rennay Victory.
We're speaking. Because guess what? Listen, even though you know she's a teacher and in education, she's also a songstress. You know, that is her singer name, a songstress.
Oh, a socks me here.
Oh.
Is that the name for person that makes socks?
A songstress,
Okay.
Miss Rennay Victory,
Well,
right?
Yeah.
No, but they won't go fancy,
Yeah,
you know.
over here, so. I'm ready to use the word for them tomorrow, you know.
That's
Listen,
all
I-
you realize.
Listen, I've met some sock stress in my life.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But
Nice to meet you.
Yes. So good
Thank
evening,
you so much.
Rennay. How are you today?
I'm good.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you
us.
so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Well, I have to say that, firstly, guys, Rennay reached out to me with the topic, and I thought it was just ideal. I said, you know, it so happened to be that it's right on theme with what we're discussing this month, you know, so we have to have this. So what I want to know, right, because I want to bring the attention to the area of education that we're focusing on, because education is far and wide. I mean, it's also outside of schools, you know, it's in and outside of schools, it's in the homes, it's in communities, but right now we're focusing on early childhood education, right? How long have you been in early childhood education?
Well, I maybe just over a little, like a year or so, but I've been teaching for over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when I started out at the age of 17. Fresh out of high school, signed up with the National Youth Service and did summer program with them. So I trained a few students who were having difficulties in reading. So I was tutoring them. And, you know, to my surprise, they improved like significantly, and they said, you know, they want to take me on for a year. So it started since then, and then I left for college for 3 years and did diploma in reading social studies in proper high school. So it's not like I have like a lot of training for early childhood necessarily, but I've worked in the field
For over a decade. But what brought you to early childhood education? What led you there? What do you think? Is it passion?
Well, let me answer what led me to teaching.
Okay, let's start there. That's a
Let me
task.
answer that one because, all right, so, you know, when I was in grade 5, I wanted to become a bank manager. Can you believe it?
Yes.
Bank manager, and I was so poor in math. And I wanted to become a bank manager.
They never know that. They don't have to know that.
They're not going to father.
And I said, you know, after that, I said I wanted to become a nurse and then a doctor. And then when I went to high school, I was head girl 2001, 2002. The teacher said, well, you know, leadership skills, turn up and everything. And I said, all right, you seem like you'd be a good teacher. So they encouraged me to become a teacher. I applied to St. Joseph's. No, not St. Joseph's. Shortwood Teachers College.
Right.
Didn't get through. Didn't get the ones that I wanted. And so I tried the micro college and I got through. And that's where it all started for me.
I love it. I love it. All right. So what I want to know now. So then go a bit into your experience, right?
Mhm.
Based on what you've experienced so far, what are the most significant challenges you see in the early childhood education system in Jamaica?
Oh, what a good question. I think parenting, not just for early childhood, but right across the board. Parenting is a big, big thing. A lot of parents, they just take school for like a daycare.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's
something to
it.
send the kids in.
Yeah,
Oh.
and that's it. And I think this kind of thinking should be out.
Yeah.
We don't need to think like that anymore in this day and age.
Yeah.
I think that the parents need to get with it. It's not a dare.
Mhm.
You are actively involved in the child's education and the
Yeah.
child's well-being, and you need to get with it.
Mhm.
So I think that parenting is one of the most significant areas that need to be dealt with. So many challenges in the area
Mhm.
of parenting
I
and their
love that.
involvement.
I love that you mentioned that, because when I wrote that question, I was wondering, like, which part of the system you're going highlight, and then we get to understand it. Don't even start with the system; it start with the home.
Well, that's
Start with the
exactly
parenting.
Yeah.
And it's true, because I've heard a lot of parents, even with back to school, boy, we can't wait for for school.
Yeah,
home, so
can't wait till
I
them
can't wait till
school.
they come back to school. It's not about, you can't wait for them to start learning. It's more like, oh, you don't want to have to deal with
Deal
them
with
for a
them,
couple
so you
of
just
hours.
throw them on the schools.
So I think, that just, in conversations around me all the time, that was just confirmed with that, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think parents can do? Can you probably give me 2 or 3 things that you think parents need to change their mindset outside of just school is not a daycare?
All right, what I do think
Mhm.
should be done is that parents need to become involved in the PTA
Mm-hmm.
of the school. You need to dialogue with the PTA president, dialogue with the principal if necessary, the child's
Yeah.
teacher. Right, it's an ecosystem that you're a part of. So you have to tap in and liaise with the necessary persons,
Mm-hmm.
because this is about your child's development. This is about upward mobility, advancement, all of that. So liaise with the persons who you need to talk to,
Mm-hmm.
right? Get involved. And I do believe that there needs to be like a mindset transformation
Yeah.
amongst our parents. I do believe so, because a lot of them, they say, boy, me poor, because I am the literacy coordinator at the school I'm at, and one of the first things I did was to have a meeting with the parents. A lot of parents came out, and when I was saying to them, you know what you could do, many of the students, they need one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Here we're in this big classroom,
Yeah.
and here we're teaching them, and some of you say, everybody understand?
Mhm.
Yes, miss, everybody understand.
yeah,
But when it is that you go to that child one-on-one, you realize that they don't know one thing.
Or when they see
Yeah.
the tests and
When
the answers on the test,
test,
because
you
nobody
realize
group
that-
up on that.
yeah, they don't understand. So what I do believe is that they need to have that kind of relationship.
Mm-hmm.
The schools need to have like mindset coaches, because I do believe that there's something significantly wrong with some of the mindsets of the parents. And things like, boy, I'm poor, I have to go stay so until some magic wand
Yeah,
you don't
changes
have to
things.
change it, because I can change my situation
Yeah.
based on my mindset. My parents didn't go to high school.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them failed a particular exam, but yet still they inculcated
Mm-hmm.
morals,
Yeah.
certain standards that
Yeah.
we had to follow. So mindset transformation is definitely something, and empowerment sessions with our peers is something that we need to have.
I
But,
like
yeah,
that.
there is a culture that is there where, well,
This just the best we
I
have
just something
fun.
to
I
do.
just so.
me not
Yeah.
graduate in there, me not expect every graduate.
Yeah.
Just go on class, do the work and come
Just
home.
cause
Nobody break the
government
trend.
in there.
Everybody just go along with the same thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
as a parent, you would definitely want to see your child to achieve more than you did. So if you go grade 3, make them go grade 4 now. If you go college, if you go high school, make them go college now. You want to see them doing better.
That's right.
But it's just that, as you say, some of them don't have that
Mentality
ambition
to
in
want
them.
better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I just share one thing? One of
Yeah.
the it was a grandmother who was there, and when I was given the suggestion, she was like, "But some of we can't read."
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying, what happened to the church?
Exactly.
What happened to the community?
No,
There's
but
no
you don't-
community center.
You don't need to talk about church or community. Right now, in every home, there's a teacher that they are talking to every day. but them just not asking the right question. Their phones. You can learn to read from your devices.
Exactly, and that is true.
Instead of watching the people them TikTok video, them on YouTube video 24/7, and I learn over and I zigzag and follow the flag out and signal the plane. You actually have programs on there and apps on there.
Anything you
that
search
can
for,
teach you to read.
Yeah.
The same videos that the kids watch and learn to read from. You put in pan. Them again. Cocomelon
and all of that.
Those same videos. If you sit down and watch it with the child, you'll learn to read. Watch.
And you have so many free resources out there.
Yeah.
And I know that maybe because of the age gap.
Yeah.
Some of the the grandparents who actually have to take care of the children, they are having that kind of challenge. But there must be somebody in the family
and in the community
who can,
because
we're not just separate and apart. We're a part of a global village. We're a part of a community. So we have to use the resources, man.
Yeah.
So I love that you mentioned that. So parents will need to change their mindset there. Not because you stop at a certain level or you did drop out means that is the destiny of your children. Your aim should actually be to have your kids do better than you did.
Yeah.
That's right. That should always be the aim. If you don't believe that, you probably need to revise your views as a parent.
Right.
But you should always make the next generation better. So guess what? You see, by 3 generations ahead, everybody will do better. You understand? And that should really be the aim.
And do you know that the Bible says a good man leaves what does it say again? He leaves some inheritance for his children's children.
Yeah.
That's what the Bible says,
Exactly.
So we are supposed to be laying up for children's children.
Exactly. Shouldn't be selfishly thinking, or even just the kids that we're seeing right now. You should be thinking for the kids ahead.
Yeah.
Right?
Generational wealth transfer, all of that.
I love that, right? But when I tell you, guys, Rennay reached out to me and she had some information that she wanted to get into, some suggestions that she had for the government to implement to improve the education system. So we're gonna have her start going into this conversation and we're gonna ask questions along the way, to ensure everything is clear with everybody. So where you want to start with that conversation?
All right. So I spoke about the mindset transformation and empowerment.
Yeah.
That needs to be an island-wide thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Many parents didn't plan for their children.
Yeah.
A lot of them are facing challenges, difficulties, and a lot of them would benefit from workshops.
Yeah.
Geared towards proper parenting skills, because I may think that I'm raising my child in the best way.
Yeah.
When I'm exposed to more information, I realize that, so there's something else that I could have done.
Yeah. Right.
So I do believe that there needs to be a lot more, empowerment sessions for the parents. In the infant and primary schools, I do believe that there needs to be like a speech and language therapist.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the children, they have speech impediments and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the children, they're not processing. Mm-hmm. What I found out, they're not processing the information. So you have learning difficulties that have to do with math.
Mm-hmm.
You have dyscalculia when you have like significant math problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you do have other challenges. If we have a speech language therapist and have a math coach or a math therapist there to assist, that can go a far way.
So the speech therapist should be like just like we have a guidance counselor in every school, there should be like you're recommending like a speech therapist.
Language therapist. Speech therapist for those who are having speech impediments, and a language therapist for those who are having cognitive issues.
Yeah,
they're not processing the information. And you know why not for them not process the information? You know why? Trauma.
Of course.
And we did actually have a session that spoke about trauma and how trauma blocks the brain from picking up certain things. So we had a specialist that mentioned all of that.
Memory, I don't know, but I think that we're so hard on ourselves in Jamaica. Why? You're rough.
Well, we live in a rough society.
All the people were just bad.
Survive.
You understand? And if when you look into the nitty-gritty of things,
rough, man.
I mean, listening to gunshots.
Yeah.
Seeing dead bodies, that is enough trauma,
Yep.
And you see the child in the classroom and the child space out and you wonder, what with that child here?
Or even abuse in the home. Because that's very prevalent.
That's very prevalent.
Very prevalent.
And seeing father beating my mother.
Brother fight and
Yes.
Stop up down and that's the know.
And I was speaking to a student one of the time, and I said, he said that he wanted to become a police, and I said, why choose that path? He said that someone killed his cousin, and he wants to go into the police force.
Do you see?
Revenge business in the
Yes,
exactly. So I mean, we all have different inspirations, but that shouldn't be an inspiration. If it's a case where you want to protect and serve and you want to help improve Jamaica, I get that. But because someone killed, a relative, like, it shows that trauma is really a major thing that we need to.
Major thing. And
factor
teachers
in.
need to be trained. There are free courses online, that you can do trauma related
exercises,
courses. Yes, you can.
It can
It's
make
free.
a difference, yeah.
It's free. It's online. You can learn more. And then, when we take that approach, it's kind of be a little bit more easy on the children because we don't have to be so rigid.
And that's our culture.
Yeah.
Our culture, we
really
believe in being very rigid.
And it don't have to be that way. So definitely, we need to have more knowledge of trauma-related incidences and stuff like that. Build more schools and training centers instead of prisons, please.
Right.
Please. Focus also on the practically intelligent person.
Right.
Yes, you have the ones who are academically inclined and they're getting all of these scholarships and so, but what about those who can fix things?
Who are skilled. Skilled labor.
Yeah. What about that?
Yeah.
They wait too late most of the time to start training them, and there lies another difficulty, because if they're having difficulty reading and is at age 20 ready to teach them how to do this thing.
But that's another part of the issue that I'd like to add, because skilled work isn't seen as a path that persons go on, like they choose it. Skilled work is like a backup plan. Whenever academics not working, you can go learn a skill. Why are we looking at skilled work like that? Skilled work has just as much a place in the world, just like the academics too, because if we don't have skilled workers, half of what we enjoying right now would not exist.
Exactly.
And the worst thing about it to Kim, one of the roughest thing about it is that the skilled, if we offer these skilled training and certification from as early as primary school,
that's what I'm looking at.
These persons will be leaving school with certification that will allow them to earn more. When them drop out of school now at age 18, 17, are going up to about 20, and them falling back on these skills, them now on a certification. So them basically are going to work for less than what they could have earned if they were trained and certified.
From earlier.
Now them have to go find a job, for go earn money, for go pay for your own course, for go get certification, so them can get better pay.
So start from early.
Yeah, because some of them actually doing these things while probably on a summer job, or them work along with them parents or family, and them in the shop do these things. So they're not certified.
Yeah, but they do have the experience.
I want to share this. You see, there was this boy, grade 9 he reached and he couldn't spell his name. Could not spell his name, and I tried with him and one day the fan broke down in the room. Guess who fixed it?
They must pull up
Him
the fan.
Alright, me with my diploma. Couldn't even touch it.
Could I tell him how to spell flat blade in Spanish? But I am going to fix it.
You understand? And there's something that we call, I'm forgetting the name right now, but it's like giving them the skill and allowing them to, say for instance, you cannot spell cement, but I can, train you
what is
to
cement?
Or you connect it to something.
I connect it to something and say, all right, this is the area that you're working in, so it's called functional literacy. That's the word I'm trying to remember. Functional literacy. So in the area of their expertise, you probably give them words that they will come across and stuff like that. So functional literacy is very important.
The guys will definitely know the different brands of cement. And they'll know what is the cement bag, and they'll know when they see the cement word by association. But probably other things them not can spell. But trust me, they might not even know if to spell it by themselves, but they'll see it and understand.
Exactly.
Definitely.
I love that you mentioned the skilled because I think that is something that we undervalue.
Yeah.
As I say, it's always a backup plan, and we really do need to change that mindset.
Yeah,
And the
we
crazy
really
thing, you know,
do.
some of these skilled workers pulling in more than people.
No,
That is what, and they always say that the skill will outweigh the paper. I heard that when I was doing my diploma long years ago. You understand?
Exactly.
So they always say that the skill will outweigh the paper because I am a teacher.
Yeah.
And I have students who are making much more than...
G.
That's the next thing you know. They need to pay teachers more enough because we are training them enough. And then they realize... and I'm sharing all of these ideas for free.
Yeah.
All right, listen. I love it.
Teacher, when them try not to, them still have to teach. But I tell you, yeah, man, it's so crazy. It's just that society has the power, you know, to put preference and power to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, really and truly, if we actually factor in these things based on how much income they are bringing in,
Yeah.
these are more properly earning people are living a better
Skilled
life than
work.
somebody
Better life.
with a little
Skilled
degree.
work, yeah.
Exactly. And
When-
I'm so proud of my degree. And they're so proud of their $350,000 a month.
Exactly, and they're laughing at us. 'Cause
You
even,
understand?
even the very so-called taxi man
Mm-hmm.
can't tell you how much he must spend a week time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and him not have no degree.
Exactly.
So we can't stand there. Yeah, teach the people them, give them certification. Sad enough, some of them are driving and on a license. But if you put them through these things at school, if they even taught them how to drive,
Yes,
road code,
That should be an
during
essential
school,
Yes.
from
when them
fifth
leave
form, sixth
school,
form.
they have the choice to do what they want and they are certified and they have the so we have less problem and less stress and less uncertified people operating these machines, and yeah, the place will run better, of course. I assume so. Yeah.
There was a boy in my class
Yes.
several years ago.
Yeah.
I said, darling, what do you want to become? Miss Moan Duck Bus.
All right.
That's what he wanted to
Duck
do.
bus translation for my English speaking people, I would assume is to be a conductor
on
the
a bus.
There we go.
Right. So that's what he wanted
That was
to
German a while ago. Duck bus. All right.
do. Right. So he wanted to become a conductor. And he did become a conductor.
All right.
And guess who took the bus
All
that
right.
he was on?
All right.
Yeah.
Let's say, get a seat up my front there. I know I'm smiling. I'm a teacher.
My God. And I'm like, you know, if I really looked back, because they said that hindsight is as 2020,
Yeah.
2020 vision,
Yeah.
I would have taught him financial literacy.
All right.
You know, just looking back and saying, no, these are some of the
Since
things
you
that
want
I
to go into
think-
that field.
Because why are we not giving them
The room.
the room to expand themselves
Into
and
those
to
fields.
even, because this is your area of expertise. This is what you want to do. These are your interests.
These are
because
things that
because
interest
you
you.
can have interest inventory, you know. You
Yeah.
have in some countries,
Yeah.
they do the interest inventory
Yeah.
and all of that, and then they incorporate it with the whatever they're teaching.
Yeah.
So that, and it's more student centered.
Yeah, and they'll be more interested in learning. Because if I in that class, I tell him, say, if I take the bus from Yasso to Yasso, I'm going to give 5 bills. Them know the change. You can't understand it.
Yeah.
But make them put 500 minus 225 is a different
Is
issue
a
that-
different thing.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So practical learning would definitely make things a lot easier and a lot better if they're even learning within their area of interest.
I like that. And we're coming up to the break. I know it's an interesting conversation so far. One of the parts that stuck out to me is the workshops for the parents.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Like I like
That will be a big
I love the wisdom that's being shared so far, but I feel like that is integral because no matter how much changes you make in the children, if the home not changing, it not going
You know the parents
nowhere.
are the ball though, Kim. We don't have the time, bro. We can't
They
find
need
the
to
time.
make the time.
Make the time. Yeah.
Yes.
Because it can be online, you know.
Okay.
Exactly. Look at
So it's not, you have to tell them these things, you know, 'cause as I say, I'm coming to you guys as how the parents would, because the first thing, even when they drop it in the group, miss, I don't have the time to read
No,
over
man,
with
it
the
can be
child.
online.
Make the time.
Make the time.
Make the time.
And then
You're
they will
investing in
understand.
future.
And then, after you give them, let's say, a 1 hour session, and then them lose interest, and then them understand why they might beat the pitney them. No, because, we have to understand.
No,
Look what you
actually,
mentioned
that is
about
it,
how
that is
rigid
it.
we are, and it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
the
we're
pitney
too
blink, and look how and you say, pay attention, and you beat him.
And
And then you know one session, support, and the let's say the lecturer or the principal say, what did we cover? I know it up on TikTok for the last 45 minutes out of the 50 minutes.
See?
Right? And you say wanna beat the pit in them. So it's like I feel like we need to put in that scenario
Yeah.
to remind ourselves that we are human and the kids are human too.
Right.
Stop things say because them a picnic then they just not right. They don't have a voice, them have no sense.
Or-
Listen.
That is the part. When you look at it in a sense. No.
Exactly. Or you shouldn't be heard. No.
Yeah.
I have learned from kids. I've heard kids say some stuff and I'm like, I never look point the waiter.
Mm-hmm. They
Listen.
can teach a little child and lead
The
them.
biggest thing is that kids are a sponge. Right now you have kids who know more than we.
Yep.
Because of that the parents are teach them.
Exactly.
They might know about a song because that's what the parents are teach them.
Yes.
Or they might know more about probably a dance or a movie because that's what they're being taught and that's
Yeah.
what their interest is in. So yeah, a little guidance from the parents would definitely go a long way.
Exactly. So we're going to go to the break. When we get back, we're going to continue the conversation, hear more of the tips and recommendations for the education sector. So we'll be right back.